Hi guys, and welcome back to the Cassie Projects. In today's video I wanted to do some arts and crafts to do when you're bored. I imagine there's a lot of you out there at the moment that are going through yet another lockdown, which means, you got more time at home and you might be looking for a creative outlet to spend some time and just entertain yourself with. It might be something that you want to do with the kids if you've got them at home. Some of them will be kid friendly. And yeah, I just wanted to help you get through these pretty hard times with just a bit of inspiration and a bit of creativity. First up, I wanted to try out some Zentangles, and I want to show you some things that you can do with these Zentangles. Not only is it very enjoyable, it helps you relax your mind, but it also gives you something to do at the same time. They're very satisfying. So I'm going to do a few different patterns, and then we're going to use these Zentangles to make some awesome things as well. So first up, let's get drawing. So I started off with doing these squiggly lines all over the piece of paper, and then I filled in each section with a different pattern. I had a look on Google to find lots of Zentangles and patterns that I could use. Some of them I just did from my own imagination, and yeah, I slowly filled up this page with these beautiful patterns. It took me probably 3 to 4 hours to do this whole thing, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was really therapeutic, and I just relaxed and doodled and watched a series on my laptop, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So this is something that you could do if you're bored at home and want to get a little bit creative. I would definitely recommend this. I got out my crafting knife and cut this beautiful piece of work in half because I needed to scan it into my computer, and I only have an A4 scanner, so I had to cut it up. But it's okay because we're going to be cutting it up into lots of smaller pieces later on. Keep watching to find out what I'm going to do with this. So I scanned it into my printer and I have turned it into a lovely A4 version.
Got you all a present.
Wow!
So I printed this off for my kids and my husband for them to colour in, which they thoroughly enjoyed. But also, it is now available on my Etsy store. So you can purchase this Zentangle as a digital download, and you can print it off as many times as you want and colour it in at home as well. Number 2, we're going to make some bookmarks. This Zentangle can also be used for even more. You can make your very own bookmarks. So obviously this needed to have been done on a card or a thick paper, and then you cut that into smaller pieces. So I did these at 4 centimetres width, and then some of them I coloured in and made them all fancy, and they're just perfect for it. Okay, next up, you could make postcards. The best thing about it is you can then send these to friends and family that you haven't seen for ages, and you can just let them know how you're doing and how much you miss them. So what I did was I cut some of these Zentangles up into little A5 size pieces, and then I put the template of a postcard on the back of it, ready to go. Not only can you use the Zentangle design, but you can also paint your own postcard. So obviously you need to put the postcard part on the back, which allows you to write the address, stick the stamp, write your little note. But on the front of it, I just did a watercolour piece. So I found a reference online of this lovely little landscape and did a really nice little watercolour, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't too big, so it wasn't too scary, and it turned out really well. Now with the watercolour, it made the page bend a little bit, so I did iron it down to make it nice and flat again, but it's all ready to go and I can send this lovely little postcard to my family. Okay, my number 5. So my number 5 arts and crafts to do when you're bored is to improve on your drawing or painting skills. So if you're stuck at home, bored, why not get some more knowledge? This is a little demonstration of what you can do to entertain yourself but also improve on your skills. I'm using this lovely sketchbook. This is brand new, so it's terrifying drawing in a new sketchbook. It's a watercolour pad and it's a landscape design, so I was really excited to use it. I've got these gorgeous Derwent pencils. They're the Derwent graphic, and it goes all the way from 9H to 9B, which is just insane. So I couldn't wait to swatch these to see how black that 9B would be, and it really is so soft and gorgeous. I'm then splitting my page up into 4 sections. Okay, so in the first section, I want you to do some still life. So find an object in your house that you can draw. I decided to do an apple. So I got this apple, I sat it down and drew exactly what I could see. Now, in the second section, I then wanted to turn this into a little character. So this is something that I find very uncomfortable. I've never done cartoon characters, so I found this really quite hard. I found a little reference image to help me think of the idea. I also used the apple that I previously drawn to bring it all together. Now in the third section, I do a very loose sketch and then I get out my watercolour paints, and this is to help me improve with my painting skills, try and get the right colours and create texture using my paintbrush. And then in the fourth section, I'm going to combine all 3 of those, and then I'm going to paint my little superhero with colour. And yeah, so this has helped me to get the right proportions, to get the right colours, get the right shapes, and create this cute little character. Okay, so finally, number 6 is to create a photo wall hanging. Now, I will show you my plan here. This is what I am planning to do. So I've got these little discs of wood, which will have a decoupaged photo on each, and it all hangs from a stick. Sounds a little strange right now, but it will come together. And yes, if you'd like to replicate this, then go ahead. I'm sure you will enjoy yourself. This was probably one of the hardest tasks that I did in this video, but it is now hanging proudly on my wall, so it was definitely worth it. You don't have to make this so difficult for yourself. We decided to create these circles ourselves using the hole saw kit. We cut out these little circles of wood from a bit of pallet wood. Now you can buy these circles online, these little discs of wood you can buy from eBay or all sorts of places that you can then paint on. But this makes it a little bit more rustic and a little bit more homemade. So I cut out, well, Tom cut out a bunch of circles for me and I sanded all those down. got my little discs of wood. I'm going to gesso those. I realised that I probably didn't need to do this now, looking back at it, because I tried 2 different techniques with the decoupaging, and the one that I went for, the paper's thick enough to cover up the wood anyway, so you can actually skip this part out if you want to. I then printed off lots of photos. I'm going to show you the first technique that I don't think actually worked. Now, lots of people use this technique, but for some reason I don't think it came out very well. So you stick the piece of paper face down onto the wood disc, and then you wait for it to dry, and then you use a wet cloth to get rid of the paper layer on the back. But I just felt like it got rid of too much of the details, so I weren't keen on it. So I decided to do it my way, and what I did was put some Mod Podge on the disc, and then I stuck the photo onto it and then decoupaged over it, and I think it looks fantastic like this, so I was really pleased with how it turned out. So after I stuck them all on, I actually went in with a foil and went round the edge just to rough it up a bit and make it a little bit what's the word, Tom?
Made it rustic?
Made it rustic, that's the one, thank you. And then I went over the top of each of the photos with the Mod Podge to seal it all in. I used matte Mod Podge, but there was still a bit of a shine on there, and I weren't keen on that. Now, as you can see, the one on the left doesn't have that. And the way I did this was using my nail white block. So this is what I use on my nails, so it's a very, very, very light sanding book, and it gave it this lovely matte effect, and I think that looks a lot better. Now, my wonderful children and husband went and gathered sticks from the outdoors, so this is the one that I chose. I then got rid of some of the bits of sticks that were a bit too much, you know. And then I went in and drilled some holes into the discs. A little tip for you, put a bit of tape around the end of the string, and this acts a bit like, you know, the end of a shoelace, so you can actually get it through the holes, so that's really handy. I had to lay them out to make sure I was getting the right spacing, where I wanted them to be. Make sure you decide on that before you actually put it all together. So here it is, my lovely photo wall hanging. I'm so proud of it. I think it worked really well. If, like me, you are creative, then feel free to head on over to my Facebook group. It's called Cassie's Creativity Club, and basically we share our artwork on there. We inspire and encourage each other, and we give each other more ideas, which is really, really helpful. So I love to share your artwork, and this week's theme was actually on patterns. Carly Nicole has kindly shared some of her patterns that she has drawn, and I think they're absolutely fantastic. And random comment of the week is from Katie J. She said, "Found your channel fairly recently and love your content. Your pages turned out amazing. I can't wait for more episodes of Wreck This Journal and Create This Book. I've got them both and so many more like them. However, I've been neglecting them for a while. You've definitely inspired me to start doing some more pages in them." That makes me so happy to hear. That is what I want my channel to be, to inspire you to get creative, get out your books, and do some more art. So thank you so much for that comment. If you haven't already, then feel free to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any other of my videos, and I'll see you next week. Bye!